Hey coaches, what's going on? It's Coach Beast here with another video, and I got a really good one for you today. We're going to take it all the way back and we're going to talk youth football 101, particularly positions. Yes, that's right. We're going to break down the different positions that are in youth football, both on offense and defense. And if you haven't already, do me a solid, like and subscribe to my channel. You'll help me reach other like-minded coaches just like yourself. So first and foremost, let's break down what you're looking at right here, okay? With the circles here, this is the offense, all right? And with the letters here, this is the defense. Sometimes with the defense, they are X's here, opposed to the letters. I'm doing the letters to make it a lot easier for you to be able to kind of understand and comprehend what's going on, okay? In terms of the defensive formation, this is considered a 4-3 defense, okay? A 4-3 defense. Let me write that down. So 4-3 defense. Why do we call it a 4-3 defense, okay? It's because you have 4 defensive linemen, right? And we're going to get into that. And you have 3 linebackers here. Okay, makes sense? 4-3 defense. All right? Or, you know, if you want to get really complex and sophisticated, you can call it a 4-3-4. A 4-3-4 is just, again, 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and then you got 4 defensive backs here. Make sense? Good. So let's start on this side of the ball. Let's start with the defense. What's the goal of the defense? And we're going to keep this really simple, very simple definition. The goal of the defense is to stop the offense from scoring a touchdown, scoring a field goal, okay? So the purpose of the defense is to stop the offense from scoring, okay? Scoring points. Very simple, right? So let's start with the defensive line. What's the role of the defensive line? And each role is different based on the position, all right? Let's start with the defensive tackles here, all right? The job of the defensive tackle is to cause disruption and to get to that quarterback, okay? Very simply put, his job is to disrupt whatever that quarterback got going on, and he wants to disrupt it within the interior, okay? Now, when I say interior, in this case, we're talking about A gaps, which are right beside the center, and B gaps, all right? For the sake of this video, I'm not going to get real detail into that. I'm going to make a separate video on the different gaps that you have, both on offense and defense, all right? But for the sake of this video, just know the job of the defensive tackle is to cause disruption within the interior, okay? The defensive ends, their job is to cause this disruption too. You know, their job is to get to the quarterback, get to the running back. The same thing as the defensive tackles, right? But they have another very key role. Their job is to contain the outside, or we call it the edge. All right, contain the edge. What's the edge? The edge is typically anything to the outside, all right? Anything's out here to the outside. We want him to contain the edge, right? But sometimes, depending on whatever defense that, you know, concept, and I'm being careful on what words I use for you, depending on the type of defense you're running and the type of play you're running on defense, this defensive end may go into the C gap, and this outside linebacker may contain the edge, okay? And that's very important to know, and this is a good transitional point. The outside linebacker's job is to help with run support, pass support, and also contain the edge or the outside, okay? Now, in my defense, my outside linebackers are my best athletes because with youth football, most teams like to run to the outside, all right? 80% of the time, as a matter of fact, 85% of the time. So the outside linebacker's job is to help with run support, but they also have a bigger responsibility of helping with pass support as well, okay? And in this 4-3 defense, usually, particularly on the youth football level, it's going to be more run support, but as the higher they go, they're going to do more pass support as well. Very important role. Now, the middle linebacker here, he's kind of like the quarterback of the defense. His job is to call the defensive plays, to help navigate shifts, to really, be that captain, so to speak, on the defense. Similar to what the quarterback would do on offense, his job is to really navigate, help with run support, pass support as well. In this defense, he's going to do a lot of QB spy, things of that nature as well. Now, with our cornerbacks, they're a little different, all right? Our cornerback's job is to, number one, protect against pass plays, to have pass coverage on this wide receiver here, okay? That's a big part of their job. Now, with youth football, they're going to play a lot of run support, and they're going to help clean up a lot of plays. But their biggest job, especially the higher they go, up the ladder, youth football is going to be more run support. But once they start playing JV, high school, college, it's going to be a lot more pass support, okay? These kids are usually athletic, very quick, very agile, and they're able to really disrupt plays with their speed and agility, all right? Now let's talk about our two safeties, okay? This is a strong safety. Whenever you see SS, a strong safety. When you see FS, that means free safety, okay? Let's start with the strong safety. The strong safety is usually the more physical kid, very physical, can tackle. They focus a lot more on run support, coming downhill, stopping plays, disrupting plays. They're all over the place. They're very athletic, very similar to outside linebacker. I always say that the strong safety is kind of a hybrid between an outside linebacker and a corner. Just a very athletic, versatile kid. May not be as big as the outside linebackers, but is very physical, loves to tackle, love to make plays, all right? The free safety is a little bit more agile, a little bit more of a speed guy, maybe smaller, but their job is to disrupt pass plays. Don't get burned by the deep ball or, the big passes, the deep passes. Their job is really to protect the backside of the defense. And, it's a safety, right? You want to save the defense from touchdowns. So that's the role of the free safety. All right, so now let's start with the offense, all right? So first and foremost, before we get into positions, I want you to know what formation this is, okay? This is considered the I formation, right? The I formation. As you can see, it looks like an I right here, all right? For you guys who are football nerds, of course, this is considered 21 personnel. 21 personnel just means you have 2 running backs and 1 tight end, all right? If this wide receiver became a tight end right here, you got 2 tight ends, this would be considered 22 personnel, okay? That makes sense? But for the sake of this video, we're just going to call this the I formation, which this is what it is, the I formation, all right? So let's start with the quarterback in this situation. So the quarterback is really one of the most well-known positions in all of football, one of the most critical, if not the most critical position in all of football. His job is to navigate the offense, lead the offense, navigate the plays, whether it be passing plays, running plays, trick plays, you name it. He is the de facto leader. Usually, he's the head of the snake, so to speak. Usually, if you cut the head off the snake, in other words, if you shut down this guy, your chances of being successful is high. In most cases now, not all, but in most. Next, we got the fullback here. The fullback can run the ball or block, but he usually is a blocking back. His job is to not only protect the quarterback, but lead block for this halfback or running back, if you want to call him that. And usually this kid is very strong, very physical. If you notice that the higher the level go, the bigger this kid becomes, okay? Now, the fullback has become very much so unpopular or not utilized in professional sports. But I am beginning to see a comeback of this role because really, to me, a fullback is very vital. Now, sometimes, and we won't get deep on this, sometimes this fullback is considered a H-back, which is a back who usually you'll see him right here, right? See him right here, and he's able to go into motion, able to flex, able to do different things like that. But for the sake of this video, we won't go into the H-back, all right? We'll make another video on that. All right, next we have the running back, and his job is versatile, okay? Of course, his job is to run the ball, but he can also block to protect the quarterback. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, or he can go into motion and, go into a slot receiver position if he want and act as almost like a receiver. But his primary role is to run the ball, especially on the youth football level. This is probably going to be your most athletic player who can make plays if it's not the quarterback, okay? And so everybody, usually most people know what the running back is, but he may be in different areas of the field at different times depending on the team's philosophy and the coach's philosophy here, all right? But in this, 21 personnel, chances are this is a balanced offense and he's going to run the ball quite a bit, all right? Next, let's get to the wide receivers, all right? And then we're going to work with the offensive line here. With the wide receivers, their job is to both catch passes from the quarterback, but they can also run block as well. And I'm going to keep it very simple. They can do a lot of different things to manipulate the defense and stuff like that, but for positional purposes, the wide receiver is able to run different routes, to try to get open, to catch passes. They can also run block, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, for the quarterback, fullback, halfback, you name it, all right? And usually, and let me say this about the wide receivers, usually they are very fast, very athletic, very technically sound, great with their hands, great with footwork. These are some of the most athletic athletes as well. But at the youth football level, depending on the coach, the team, and their personnel, this kid will probably run block most of the time, but the higher you go, these guys are critical to the game of football. They are guys who will score a lot of points, all right? All right, next, let's talk about this tight end here, okay? I played tight end in high school, middle school. I also played outside linebacker. Love to be a tight end. I absolutely love that role because a part of my job was to block, right? Run block, pass block, loved it. But I also had the option, to go out for routes as well, depending on the play. So this is really a hybrid position. This tight end can block, and he can also go out for passing plays, whether it's seam routes, out routes. Of course, I can't help it. I'm throwing routes out there you may not have a clue about, but he's able to go out on different routes, and he's very vital. To me, he's the Army Swiss knife, of the offense. He can do a lot of things, okay? And one of my favorite positions on the offense, of course. A little biased with it. All right, next let's talk about the right tackle and the left tackle, okay? The right tackle and the left tackle. Their job is not only to block for the quarterback, but their job is to block the outsides or protect the edge for the quarterback. Let me put it like that. So usually these kids are, of course, very strong, usually really big, kind of tall, lanky, so they can be able to reach those defensive ends or those linebackers that's trying to blitz the edge, right? So, these players are very critical to the offense. You can't have a fluent offense if you don't have a good offensive line. The left tackle's job, again, to protect the outside, to make sure nobody blindsides the quarterback, things of that nature. If a right tackle is struggling, the tight end may help to secure that edge, okay? Very important to note that. With the guards, the left guard and the right guard, their job is similar, but instead of protecting the edge, their job is to protect the interior, which is usually those inside gaps that I mentioned earlier, A gap and B gaps. Their job is to protect the interior from blitzes, from these defensive tackles to come through to get to the quarterback or get to the running back, fullback, you name it, okay? And lastly, we got the center here. And in my opinion, especially in youth football and really all of football. The center is the most crucial position because guess what? They have the football every play. Every single play, this kid has the ball. Their job is not only to do run support, but to snap the ball to the quarterback. It's very important to have a kid that's not only strong and athletic, but smart. I can't say that enough. That's very smart in his role. And don't try to be a hero. You want the most grounded kid on your team to be the center. A kid that don't make a lot of mistakes in this situation. So, again, between the quarterback and center, those are the two most important positions on offense, in my opinion. Some of you may disagree with that. But I definitely would say if you want a really good offense, it starts with a good center and a good quarterback. Hands down, hands down. I'm done. That's it with this video. I really hope that you got value from it. I just wanted to teach you some basic concepts of positions because nobody ever taught me this before I started coaching. I grew up around football and things of that nature, but as you get deep into coaching and things of that nature, you learn that things change and fluctuate over the years. I mean, even some of these titles, depending on the defense you're in, these linebackers may be called a Mike, a Wheel, a Bandit, a Star, all of these different names, right, for positions. But I wanted to give you a basic understanding of how everything works. All right, Coach, I hope you got value from this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Also, if you are interested in getting any playbooks, you need playbooks for this season, you're going to coach, right? Right now, I have my Beast Unleashed playbook bundle that's 85% off. You can get all 16 of my playbooks, which includes the Strongman Beast Offense, the Diamond Formation, the T Formation, Air Raid, you name it, I got it. And you just go down to the description box below if you're interested in that. All right, guys, till next time, win more games, score more points, and beast out. Peace.